Broadcasting live from our Pocket Soul studios right here in Highlands, Harare. My name is Zain Jamu and welcome to the main news.
Noble Mawongwa at the Sign Language Desk, and I'm Vicky Maponga. We're leading with these stories in the bulletin tonight. Government adopts new financing model for the Harare-Chirundu Road rehabilitation.
In other news, circulation of the upgraded ZIG notes begins this Tuesday.
The government advances survivor-centered gender-based violence services.
In sport, Highlanders keep their fourth consecutive clean sheet after playing out to a goalless draw against Scotland. That and more in sport.
The government says it has secured a sustainable financing model in order to accelerate the rehabilitation of the Harare-Chirundu Highway. Our first report tonight.
26 kilometers have been rehabilitated along the Harare-Chirundu Highway, and government is burning midnight oil to ensure that the 356-kilometer highway is completed. The completion of the initial phase of the project, being done with assistance from the Japanese government, has excited both the motoring public and the business people along the corridor.
Takafara zvikuru sachinzva minister wedu vetransport vachaannounce kuti fund yavepo yekupeswa kwerodhi iyoyo. So we are very happy kuno kuMarch West. That's why the big reason why tiri kutsigira chirongwa chekuti bill number 3 ipase kuti president varambe varipo vapese zvirongwa zvakafanana nezvozvo.
The funding model triple Ps, public private partnerships, build operate and transfer nzindo yakoshanda pakugadzira mugwagwa wechirundu inobetsera kuti hurumende isaremerwe project uyezve kuti project ikurumidze kufamba tichikurumidzawo kuzowana zvibereko zveprojekti iyoyo.
Ndosaka taitaura isu kuti dai tanga tawedzera president wedu 2 years idzi. Maona kuti mabasa acho atiri kuti isusu ndavapedzise ndiwo aya mamwe acho aya. So isusu kumashwesi kuno kuti tiri kufara because mugwagwa yanga yaipa.
Government has revealed that the next phase of the project is now set to commence after the mobilization of more funding. The Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Honorable Felix Mona, revealed that a new financing model has been adopted to ensure continuity.
On the Harare Bay Bridge, we're busy tapping into fiscus, but here we've now put up a funding model to make sure that when we start, we don't stop. So you see us that we are targeting about 18 months, and as we speak, we're just finalizing on the finance modalities so that the contractors will start working. But however, we have given our contractors something to manage the status quo of the road so that it becomes trafficable.
In the interim, contractors who were already deployed along the highway will continue to carry out maintenance works aimed at improving trafficability while awaiting full-scale construction. Government has also announced plans to modernize the Chirundu border post beginning in June, bringing it to the same standard as the upgraded Bait Bridge border post.
Come June, we will be starting again operations at the border post, which is Chirundu border post modernization, so that it's also going to mirror the Bait Bridge border post. So you see us that what we've done, we've already started coming from the great city towards the Westgate, where we've done the rehabilitation, and we'll take it from there. Make sure that we also modernize our toll gates, become plaza, and not only that, we also have way bridges along to mitigate against those trucks that are overloading.
Its rehabilitation is testimony to President Dr. Emerson Mnangagwa's commitment to infrastructure development.
Infrastructure upgrading and development projects are steadily progressing through innovative funding models by Treasury, private sector financing, as well as support from development partners. Completion rehabilitation and upgrading of the Harare-Chirundu Road, Christmas Pass, Bulawayo Victoria Falls Road, Chirundu Border Post, and the Forbes Border Post remain top priority. The construction of other road infrastructure, such as interchanges at strategic points in our cities, are on the cards, with the Trabablas, with the Trabablas interchange now operational. Notable progress has been registered in implementing the Zimbabwe Integrated Transport Information Managing System project, which includes automating services at the Vehicle Inspectorate Department, Central Vehicle Registry, and Road Motor Transportation.
The development is expected to enhance regional connectivity, improve road safety, and facilitate trade along one of the country's busiest highways. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chinoi.
Exciting times as the upgraded Zimbabwe gold notes will start circulating this Tuesday amid Treasury's revelation of a rise in foreign currency reserves backing the domestic currency to 1.3 billion United States dollars as of end of March this year.
The new Ziga notes will be introduced by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe into the market in their phases of 10 Ziga, 20 Ziga, and 50 Ziga in a huge milestone for the country's currency reforms agenda in terms of durability as well as high quality notes and features that meet international standards. The central bank has also revealed that the older or existing Ziga notes will continue to be used alongside the new notes until such a time when the central bank feels that it is now ripe for them to be phased out. Central bank authorities have also noted that the higher denominations of the new notes, that is the 100 Ziga and 200 Ziga, will be introduced in the future. The public is therefore anxiously awaiting for the rolling out of the new Ziga notes.
Isisu sevanhu kuZimbabwe tikashandisawo mari yedu ka zvinhu zvinotifambewo mune zvakanaka. Handimboona dambudziko mari ingaitouya.
Tokuona kwakanaka ndo yatinoona inochengetedzeka zvakanaka.
Tinofana kudadawo nemari yenyika yedu kwete kudada nemari yedzimwe nyika. Dai zvaitogona taitombogadzirirwa mari yekuti hatishandisi mari yekune dzimwe nyika, toshandisawo mari yedu.
Aiwa zvakanaka. Tinozvifarira. Tinoida mari nyowani.
As the central bank authorities have revealed their commitment towards staying at the course of a prudent monetary policy management system, the dean in the Faculty of Commerce at Bindura University College of Science Education, Dr. Zakari Tambuzai, says that this move is important in sustaining the prevailing stable currency and pricing systems within the economy.
The launch tomorrow of the new series of the Big Five Zig notes is a great move by the government to try and make sure that we have ownership in terms of our currency. You know the significance of the Big Five in the country. That heritage is now reflected on our new notes.
The new Zig notes are being rolled out at a time when Zimbabwe has achieved significant economic milestones characterized by the reduction in the domestic currency inflation to single digits for the first time in 30 years, a stable exchange rate as well as the narrowing gap between the official and parallel market premiums. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe and South Africa government agencies at the Beitbridge border post have joined forces to ensure the smooth passage of travelers as the Easter holiday comes to an end.
As the Easter holiday comes to an end, the modernized Beitbridge border post continues to provide a seamless passage for Zimbabweans traveling to and from South Africa.
The Easter was good. I think generally It's a safer place to drive. I'm very happy with the highway. I think it's a good job, well done.
We loved being in Zimbabwe. We love it. We went to Ponorogo. We go there every year, but it's a lovely stay. And all the roadblocks, the people are very polite, very helpful. And I must say that all the road users are very polite. We've had a wonderful trip to Zimbabwe.
Easter inopera rikoriwa ngamanda rikobva tangana na dzipuri ngalange South Africa rikowera murawayani.
Isu takafamba zvakanaka, hatina dambudziko ratakasangana naro, saka tava kudzokera kwedu.
Zimbabwe and South African agencies at the Beitbridge border post highlighted that they are working together to facilitate the smooth passage of travelers.
During this kind of period, we do visit the ports, particularly our top ports. Beitbridge is one of the top ports in South Africa, mainly to support the officials that are operating on the ground in terms of ensuring that everything is going according to plan. But where we are supposed to assist them in terms of decision making, we are definitely around to make sure that we do so. But otherwise, we appreciate the cooperation that we have with our colleagues, whether it's the ZRP or even the ZDF itself, in terms of taking care of the borderline, but also working through the port in terms of making sure that everything goes according to plan.
From this, we are learning that some of the interventions that we kicked in worked. I think you saw that our security counterparts were more out. Our lead agencies, including ZIMRA and Immigration, had put more personnel and were out helping the travelers to ensure that they had an expedited travel.
The modernization of Beitbridge border post is one of the key government milestones, as the facility is providing seamless and efficient clearing services, hence supporting regional development. Aifeli Mudau, ZBC News, Beitbridge.
There's a growing concern over a disturbing trend on Zimbabwe's roads, where instead of helping accident victims, some bystanders are choosing to film and share graphic scenes on social media. Let's take a look.
It is a painful reality that in moments when lives are hanging by a thread, when every second counts, some people are choosing not to help, but to record. Standing here, one is left to wonder what has happened to our sense of humanity. Experts say those first moments after an accident, often called the golden hour, are critical. A single call for emergency services, a simple act of first aid can be the difference between life and death. But instead, what we are seeing on our roads is something else. Crowds gather, phones go up, and in that moment, help is delayed and dignity is lost. Across the country, from highways to urban roads, images of accident victims are increasingly finding their way onto social media, often before families are even informed. Recent incidents, including the widely circulated accident involving the family of Ronald Mujuru in Masvingo, have only amplified calls for change, with many Zimbabweans condemning the sharing of such graphic content.
Hazvina kunaka, and zviri dangerous pakuti relative paichaziva kuti munhu afa pamwe ndewe pedyo, wekuti ukatomuudza anogona kubva atokolapsa or something chinogona kungoitika, heart attack. Saka zvinhu zvinogona kuuraya magariro edu, zvinogona kutokonzeresa kuti neaccident yaitika totozove futi neanother accident futi yekuti munhu angoudzwa obva atongofa.
Dzimwe nambo shoko rinenge risati rasvika zvakadai samai vokubereka mwana kana kuti hama dzemunhu anenge aita accident. Saka ini ndinoti vanhu vanoita zvakadai dai zvaitokwanisika kuti dai vaiwanikwa, vanhu vaifanirwa kutorangwa nemutemo. Kana paitika accident, vanhu vanofanirwa kufonera kana ambulance kana kuenda pachipatara pari pedyo, vonozivisa vakoti vouya vobatsira vanhu pakuti vanhu vanotora runhare dzavo votanga kutora mavhidhiyo vachitumira kune vanhu. Zvinhu zvakashata izvozvo, zvinhu zvatinenge tisingatarisiri muZimbabwe kuti tinenge tichiita unhu hwakadaro.
Vanhu ngavasatora mapiki paita tsaona, posta zvinhu social media.
Speaking on the matter, the Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, Honorable Felix Mona, says the behavior is both insensitive and unacceptable.
Chandongoyambira mhuri yeZimbabwe ndechekuti kana tasvika panguva dzakadai tinge tichibata pamwe chete uyezve tine mutsa kuremekedza chivanhu chedu kuti patinenge taona tsaona dzakadai hongu tingade kuzivisa hama neshamwari asi dzimwe dzenguva tinokasika kuda kushambadza tisati tazivisa hama dzepedyo zvinova zvinhu zvaunozoona zvaakutenderera angave magurupu ndinoti dai mwari vatinzwira nyasha patsika iyoyo taona kuti taremekedza chinhu chinonzi mufi.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police has also weighed in, urging Zimbabweans to put humanity first. In a strongly worded message posted on X, police say the priority must be clear: notify emergency services, assist where possible, and respect the dignity of victims. Not chase views, not chase likes. As road traffic accidents continue to claim lives across Zimbabwe, leaving families grieving and communities shaken, the message is clear: in moments of crisis, compassion must come before clicks, because every second counts, and saving a life will always matter more than going viral. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, says she has received with deep sorrow and a heavy heart the tragic news of the passing of Mrs. Lillian Mujuru and her 5 beloved children, Nokutenda, Makanaka, Ronald Jr., Rufaro Shalom, and little Caden, who lost their lives in a fatal road traffic accident along Mashingo Road near Mvuma last week. She said it is a painful loss beyond words, a heartbreaking tragedy that has robbed one family of 6 precious lives in a single moment. As a mother, grandmother, the mother of the nation, Dr. Mnangagwa said that she is deeply moved by the sorrow that has befallen the Mujuru family, and she extends her sincere condolences to Mr. Ronald Mujuru, the bereaved husband and father, as well as to the extended family, friends, and the church community. Mother Zimbabwe said she is imagining the anguish and emptiness that this tragedy has left behind. She further said, may the Almighty God grant Mr. Mujuru strength and comfort during this unimaginably difficult time, rallying the nation to stand with him in prayer, compassion, and solidarity. Dr. Mnangagwa is also urging all road users to exercise utmost caution and responsibility on the road so that devastating tragedies that continue to claim innocent lives and leave families shattered may be prevented.
Touching base on the church, ZANU-PF National Political Commissar, Comrade Mnyaradzi Machacha, says the ruling party has identified the church as a key stakeholder in nation building following the conclusion of the public hearings on the Constitutional Amendment No. 3 bill.
Over 4 million congregants nationwide, the Joan V of Africa International Church, popularly known as J5, says its support of the Constitutional Amendment No. 3 bill stems from its recognition for the need to give sufficient time to national leaders to implement long-term national projects. This was said by Archbishop Dr. Ndibai Makururu at an Easter conference held in the nation's capital this Monday.
Amendment number 3 tarisapota nekuda kuti rine zvakawanda zvaratisunungura isu semakereke emunyika yedu yeZimbabwe. Semuenzaniso isu semakereke taakukwanisawo kukurukura nehurumende yedu. Isu semakereke taakukwanisa kuve nenzvimbo dzedu isusu dzatinonamatira tichipiwa nehurumende yedu tichienda kuparliament kuti unotaura nehurumende yedu. Saka izvozvo zvinhu zvatisunungura zvikuru ende zvinhu zvaita kuti isusu tiwane kunotsigira bill amendment number 3.
ZANU-PF National Political Commissar, Comrade Mnyaradzi Machacha, who was the guest of honor at the event, welcomed the church's support, saying the ruling party has identified the sector as a critical stakeholder in nation building.
We have targeted churches and given them an opportunity to air their views on the bill, which they've done right across the country, and they've done so in a very powerful way in support of the bill. And we are quite confident that their voices, which they presented to the parliamentary hearing committees that went round, will be incorporated in the final draft of the bill into law.
Now, public hearings on the Constitutional Amendment number 3 bill concluded on the 2nd of April, with committee chairpersons expected to draft their reports on the consultations before the first reading in Parliament by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. Panashe Nagoli, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, members of the Joani Masowe Echishanu have added their voice in support of the Constitutional Amendment number 3 bill, stating that it will help to steer development currently being implemented under the Second Republic.
Speaking on the sidelines of the Joani Masowe Echishanu annual pilgrimage at the sacred Nelanje Shrine in Mondoro, apostolic leaders and members of Apostolic ED said they are fully behind the Constitutional Amendment number 3 bill for continuation of national development projects.
Tiripo pakutsigira chirongwa chebill number 3 chokuti vamunangagwa varambe vachitonga nekuti zvamuri kuona uwandu hwevanhu nemudziyo iri pano mabhazi tinazvo kuburikidza nekutonga kurikuita vamunangagwa, kuburikidza nemutungamiriri wedu baba Wikne mupostori wedu weJoani Masowe Echishanu akati naiyewo kushanda kwaari kuita munyika yakasununguka zvaari kuwana zvichifashukira kuapostori toda kuti arambe achiita izvozvo narini munyika yakasununguka.
Donzo redu rekuungana isu seapostori tiri kuwirirana, tagara tichiwirirana kuti isu tinoramba tichitsigira bill number 3, tinotsigira kuvandudzwa kwemwaka wokutungamirira kana wokutonga kwa president Dr. Idi Mnangagwa. Nouwandu hwedu ihwohwo, utongi hwa president Dr. Idi Mnangagwa unotifadza zvikuru. Tinonamata takasununguka, tinoshanda takasununguka, mabasa avari kuita ekugadzira kwemugwagwa, kuvakwa kwemadhamu, kubudirira kweupfumi hwenyika, isu tiri kuzviona.
Zvino vapostori vese veJoani Masowe Echishanu tiri kutaura kuti kudini, tiri kutaura kuti ai wakashupa murambika varambe vachiita basa ravari kuita. Munyika medu muno mune runyararo rwakawanda. Ndosa muri kunzwa namai vese vari kuti sei bill number 3 chi kuti
dai vanhu vakanzwisisa kuti chinonzi bill number 3 chi tikatata tinoti Abrahama, Isaka naYakobe zvinofamba zviri zvitatu. Saka hatisi kuda kuti baba Mnangagwa vanzi vasunungukwa mimba isati yasvika 9 manzi ngadzisvike, wakomana tarisai muone tichiri mu7 manzika. Saka isaika kuti mwedzi miviri ndo makore mairi basa rifambe zvakanaka.
Zimbabwe held nationwide public hearings on the Constitutional Amendment number 3 bill, which received tremendous attendance, and those who were not able to attend can still provide written input until the 17th of next month. Festus Mkunguru says ZBC News.
For more news, do log on to our website, that is www.zbcnews.co.zw, or you could get in touch with us on our social media handles, that is at ZBC News Online, and do remember to follow us on our X handle as well.
Here's a look at stories still to come in the bulletin. Government advances survivor-centered gender-based violence services. We'll look at sport later, where Highlanders keep their 4th consecutive clean sheet after playing out to a goalless draw against Scotland. We're taking a breather to stay with us.
The Zimbabwe International Trade Fair 2026 is here. It's Zimbabwe's premium platform for trade, innovation, and building global connections. For more than half a century, the ZITF show has been at the heart of innovation and integration of ideas behind Zimbabwe's industrialization and economic growth. At ZITF 2026, we take this a step further, positioning local, regional, and international businesses for global integration, driving Zimbabwe and Africa's transformation. Be a part of the journey to unlocking local, continental, and global opportunities at ZITF 2026 from the 20th to the 25th of April 2026 in Bulawayo. Register today and unleash your business growth. ZITF 2026, Connected Economies, Competitive Industries.
Welcome to a decade of innovation, a legacy of trust, as Oxford Properties celebrates 10 years of excellence, from the success of Aspendale Park to our newest vision. We invite you to discover Borrowdale Park. Experience premium stands ranging from 400 to 800 square meters, with flexible payment plans designed for your future. Perfectly situated less than 5 kilometers from Sam Levy's village, this is where convenience meets sophistication. This is a complete lifestyle sanctuary, a secure, gated community featuring on-site schools, a medical clinic, and a modern shopping mall. From our dynamic business park to paved wellness trails and dedicated sports facilities, every detail, including a dedicated fire station, is built into the heart of the community. With title deeds guaranteed and professionally designed house plans ready for you, your peace of mind is our priority. Borrowdale Park. Designed for living.
Texting while driving. What a dangerous thing to do on the wheel. Be smart. Put the phone down. Don't text and drive. This message is brought to you by the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe. Safety first. There is no second chance.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The story of Zimbabwe's road to independence is never complete without mentioning the country's solidarity with Mozambique. 46 years after the liberation struggle, the nations are still bound by many aspects beyond geography. Our chief correspondent Ruben Barwe filed the following report.
When the Rhodesian soldiers attacked Nyadzonya camp in 1976, the Rhodesians also attacked the Pungwe River Bridge at the boundary of Villa Katandika and the Pungwe districts, cutting aid from the provincial capital Chimoya and also help from the local people. The broken bridge still stands unrepaired, and the authorities had to construct a new bridge across the Pungwe River. Roads were mined and several Mozambicans were killed as they sought to assist fellow Zimbabweans. Down in Dombe district, there is yet another river whose source, like the Pungwe, is also from Zimbabwe, the Rusutu River. Hundreds of people were swept away and killed by the raging waters of the Rusutu River in March 2019 during Cyclone Idai. Days later, just beyond this bridge, Rusutu, their bodies were retrieved and buried by the local people. The Zimbabwean authorities managed to identify the remains using science, and these were repatriated according to Ambassador Victor Matemadanda.
From here, this river flows into Buzi River, and the bodies that we got are the ones that we got at the confluence, mostly of
Buzi and this one.
Yes, that's where I think it flooded more, because Buzi was also flooded. So I think the movement slowed down, and as it was, people were pushed out. So as it was, subsidizing, many bodies were left on the ground. And I remember we exhumed about 33, if not 39 bodies that were positively identified and taken back home.
So is the story of the two rivers and two bridges and two incidents that brought Zimbabweans and Mozambicans even closer. The two bridges actually are bridges to long-standing solidarity between the two peoples. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Mozambique.
The adoption and implementation of laws and policies that address discrimination and inequalities against gender-based violence victims have been cited as key in ensuring accountability and guaranteeing women's rights.
The conversation on gender-based violence, GBV, and acceleration of survivor-centered services continues, with government enhancing legal frameworks that promote, enforce, and monitor gender equality, specifically to provide protection for women and girls against violence. Among key priority areas for government is to strengthen access to victim-friendly justice services for gender-based violence survivors and bringing essential services closer to those in need.
Instead of us having our victims coming to our offices in Harare, there is a rethinking in the justice access system. We are shifting from institution-centered to survivor-centered justice systems. The Ministry of Justice itself has got a legal aid directorate. The legal aid directorate takes cases of indigent people, especially women, especially children, and men who cannot afford, not only in relation to gender-based violence, but in relation to any matter, because we are saying justice for all by 2030.
Women Affairs, Communities, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Minister, Senator Monica Mchangwa, notes the need to strengthen the judiciary system's ability to identify, prioritize, and efficiently address GBV cases.
We have seen really numbers of gender-based violence going down in areas where there is these one-stop centers, because they offer comprehensive multi-sectoral GBV response services. In addition also to providing immediate response and access to justice, the one-stop center is one place where a gender-based violence survivor or victim can rush to. All under one roof. There is a lawyer, there is a legal services, there is counseling services, because we all know that gender-based violence is traumatic. And so there's a counselor at that place. There's also a creche, so that if they've got children, they'll be able to continue with education. And then at the same place, there's also a safe market, so that you can continue to train them livelihood skills.
Government notes it remains committed to accelerating survivor-centered justice through stronger forensic, medical, legal systems and improved coordination across the justice chain. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Harare.
Iran has threatened to shut the Bab al-Mandeb shipping route after closure of the Strait of Hormuz. The Bab al-Mandeb is a critical waterway for global oil trade as it connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. The route's importance has increased ever since Iran sealed the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of global oil and gas would pass through before the US and Israel attacks on Iran. Ali Akbar Velayati, a top advisor to Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei and former Iranian foreign minister, posted on his X handle that Iran's leadership views Bab al-Mandeb route as it does Hamas, adding that if the US continues making mistakes, it will soon realize that the flow of global energy and trade can be disrupted with a single move. If the Bab al-Mandeb route is to be closed, it could compound the current global energy supply crisis, which has seen fuel prices spiking across the world.
That's a look at what's happening beyond our country's borders. We're off to a break. Do stay with us.
Rosijo misplaced her driver's license again, so she can sit pretty as #passenger princess.
In my pinky, right, baby?
If smart choices mean a great deal to you, box clever with the Rapster in original, dunked, or the new barbecue. Genius.
School's out, fun's in, adventure's on, homework done, and holiday mode is activated.
Let's hop to it.
And he scores! This is your time. Holiday mode activated. Get and stay connected to DSTV and choose from a world of amazing kids entertainment.
The Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe would like to warn all motorists and passengers against overloading, as this can lead to loss of life and premature death. Overloading can cause instability to the vehicle, thereby making it harder to steer, whether on straight roads, bends, or when it hits a pothole. Say no to overloading. You never know, the life you save might be your own. This message was brought to you by the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe. TSCZ, keeping Zimbabwe's roads safe.
We look into the arts now. In the heart of Victoria Falls, as the sun sets and the night comes alive, a powerful rhythm takes over, one that echoes far beyond Zimbabwe's borders. Tonight, we take you to a group of drummers whose beats are not just entertainment, but a cultural export shaping how thousands of tourists experience Zimbabwe.
Every single night in the city of Victoria Falls, this group transforms hundreds of tourists into a single rhythmic tribe. We join the Inciso Performing Arts to understand where this magic begins.
We do interactive drumming show. Interactive drumming show is a session whereby we interact with guests. The audience that we play for, we also give them drums so they get a feel of how to play drums. Playing every night for different people is so amazing. It's now a passion, you know. It boosts you when you're playing for more, say 200 plus people every night.
These are Zimbabwe's cultural ambassadors. They are not armed with briefcases, but they are armed with djembe drums. These drums have found home in the hands of these local masters that are bridging the gap between the visitor and the local.
They are different from izingungu ezikhalayo. In a sense ukuthi lapha as ambassadors thina lapha sitheka Zimbabwean culture sinika abantu abaphambili aba from emhlaba ejikelele. Lapha endaweni le esikiyo kuyasevwa different dishes all together. So thina singenela khona phana ukuthi sibajabulise kube kumnandi ukuthi kuhambe ndawonye kusiya phezulu.
You have been performing for almost a decade now, and in most instances in Zimbabwe, when the leader of the group dies, the group also dies a natural death. What are you doing to ensure that you keep this alive and you continue selling Zimbabwean culture to the tourists that come?
We groom our youngsters. Uti group ingafi. Our youngsters need to be there to take on that particular role. Yeah, befalete ayens. Ngoba singathi I asingeke sikhulume umuntu. At the end of the day, awungeke perform a staging. Usude 90 years, umule 8 years, usukhulile.
As Zimbabwe positions culture as a pillar of tourism growth, performances like this show how the arts feed into the broader value chain, supporting jobs, preserving our heritage, and deepening visitor experience. Yolanda Moyo, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Well, on a very sad note, Zimbabwe's music fraternity is mourning following the death of talented dancer and orchestra Mbedi Quattro's backing vocalist Barnabas Mandipota, who died on Saturday after a short illness.
Trimo Mandipota, popularly known as Barnabas, died on Saturday at the age of 33. A versatile performer, he was part of Orchestra Mbedi Quattro, where he worked as a backing vocalist and dancer, having transitioned from earlier role as a drummer. Over the years, he shared the stage with several notable musicians as a drummer, including Somandla Ndebele, Morgan Dembo, Mark Ngwazi, as well as Cheso Boys, steadily building a reputation as a reliable and energetic performer. His commitment to the craft has been widely acknowledged, with family members recalling a lifelong dedication to music.
Munhu aida music kubva ari mudiki. Ndikati Bana akatanga music ari grade 5. Akamboridza band nevainzi vave Chief Ngezi yezvinhu. Ini ndinakamudzidzisa music akuridza madrums. Achibva kuzana mudhama chakwa ndofunga akazodza naye yainzi unit gala papanga grade 7 aform 1 pana akazoridza nasomalandevelo ndofunga nasomalandevelo akaridza 6 years. Izi ndakazofonerwa kuri musi wefriday manheru ndichifonerwa namainini wangu, so ndafonerwa zvinzi kunoko mukomana haasi kunzwa zvakanaka, zvikanzi aita problem yezimu. But ndichisvika chinhu chanangoti chakandinetsa anga ine ronda rakakura pauro apa.
Chii chaitika bana? Zvikanzi tezvara handichaziva.
Among those who joined the chorus of condolences is Nyadzi Sanyi Macheso, wife to Sungura maestro Alec Macheso, who described Barnabas as a gifted and humble artist.
Ndabatikana nditoti kazotadza kuzwa kuti ndoita zvekuita sei. Pavana vangu vakomana tu avo Isau naTatenda ndiye akaridza madrum padamba refu ravo ravakabudisa album ravo iroro. Apa ungatori murongwa kuti toda kuti tichibudisa futi gore rinori.
Colleagues describe him as a dedicated and hardworking artist whose passion for Sungura music was evident from a young age.
Ifa ni mulandi, inanilanda, kunilanda makolo wanga. Aiwa, muri Zimbabwe, tiri kurwadziwa stereki nezvaitika, tarasikirwa fana wedu munhu tanga tichishanda naye kubvira pabana akauya kuorchestra mberi kwazo takazoita mufaro. It brings something else zvanga zvakutoita kuti zvinhu zvifambe mune zvakanaka.
Nanhasi nini ndine umwe ndaishandidzana naye ndiri padhuze nepadhuze zvekuti nguva dzese petatirya taingotorana toti handi pasaidi totanga kuita lesawo yedu.
Munhu aigona basa rake, anga akatikavhira zvakanaka, nzvimbo yanga isingatifambire zvakanaka kubasa, ende aimira tainzwa zvinhu zvedu zvaimprova kubva panguva yakauya.
Munhu aiva neshungu nebasa ende anga asingashayika pabasa nguva nenguva. Panonge pakasarira pada kugadziriswa pastage paipe aikavha, aivharidzira maburi ekuti pambani maimusingazooni.
Mourners are gathered at his home in Chitungwiza, where family, friends and fellow musicians continue to pay their respects. Burial arrangements are expected to be announced in due course as the nation remembers a rising talent whose rhythm and energy left an imprint on Sungura music. Barnabas is survived by his wife, Esther, and 4 children. Patience Nyagato, SABC News, Harare.
On a sad note, there may he rest in peace. Anashe is ready to give you sport after this break.
Vantu vamutala mulonga vazabuza. Ndababona vazabuza.
Ozizwa efanele ukuthatha udumu akeze phambili. for a white Moffat.
This 18th of April 2026, Zimbabwe celebrates 46 years of independence, and the celebrations are heading to Mapisa in Matabeleland South. To mark this historic day, the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services proudly presents the Independence Day Music Show from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. at Minda High School. Get ready for a night filled with rhythm, culture and celebration. The nation will be watching as ZBC TV, your voice, your choice, broadcast the show live from 2100 hours right through to sunrise. Expect explosive performances from some of Zimbabwe's biggest stars. Iyasa, Sulumani Chimbetu, Andy Murizo, Sandra Ntebele, Jam Master, Ndolwane Super Sounds, Clement Magwaza, Jace Maravini and many more. Huyai Tifare. All roads lead to Mapisa. One nation, one celebration. Sisonke. Please note, admission is free.
Start for sport and welcome to the Sports Corner. Anasham Rambedzi here with the latest in the world of sport. Blawa Giants Highlanders capped their fourth consecutive clean sheet after playing out to a goalless draw against the defending Casalaga Premier Soccer League champion Scotland at Trafalgar Stadium this Monday.
The Blawa Giants might be struggling in front of goal, but they've been saved by a solid backline. Both were shut out at the defending champions, Scotland, who have scored 9 goals in their previous 3 matches. This was not any ordinary attack. It had the Mercurio Kama Biliata, goal poacher Terence Tukamanja, enterprising Emmanuel Socha, evergreen Abubakar Mofata. At the same time, Nola Jimson and Taman Machope all came in the second half and failed to unlock the Nrumbeba Mashauda rear guard. The Blawa Giants might not have been sharp enough, but they're strong enough not to lose matches.
To come away and get a point, I think today the point that we got, it's a point gained. And one thing that I'm happy with my boys is the consistent or not of not conceding. You know, we've won like 4 games, including the national team one, without conceding a goal. That's consistent, and you can see that we are building on from there. And going forward, we had a lot of chances.
Boso were not a team just sitting at the back, but they dominated a greater parts of the match and were just not clinical. The defending champions also showed why they've an attack feared by most. However, they seemed to have left their shooting boots in Mapuku.
We had our moments where I think we did well. There were some moments also I thought the Highlanders did well. No, but I think it was a game of few chances. They had a good opportunity. I don't know how many minutes. Then we had a good opportunity to win the last 10 minutes of the first half. Then the second half, I think the last 20 or so minutes looked much better going forward. But look, it's a game of football. We drew and we took the point home.
Highlanders now have 6 points in 6 matches, while Scotland have double that in 6 matches. Elsewhere, New Boys Hard Rock collected all points on the road when they beat Triangle United 1-0. Mons emerged 2-1 victorious against Agama, while the PC Kariba and Tier 1 drew 0-0.
In Bulawayo, Chicken in 8, FC Hunters 1-0 to record their second home victory. A 21st-minute first-half strike by Lincoln Mangaira proved decisive, taking Chicken Inn's tally to 9 points after 6 rounds of matches. The visitors dictated much of the play but lacked the clinical edge in front of goal. Chicken Inn goalkeeper Timon Mvula was kept busy in the closing stages. He was called into action 20 minutes before full-time, pairing a dangerous cross for Munyaradze Mushanga who had overlapped. 3 minutes later, Mvula produced another fine save to deny El Ilunga. Chicken Inn head coach Tondera Indira expressed the relief after securing the much-needed 3 points.
We expected that. Look, we were playing a team with very good players. very technically good players. So yeah, we knew that we would really have a very difficult afternoon.
FC Hunters coach Nesbit Saruchera Bimond missed the opportunities.
I think we failed to convert a lot of chances we managed to create. That's a positive on our part, but we missed a lot. We should have scored more 3-4, but it wasn't our day. We are just hoping one day we are going to collect our first 3 set of points.
For FC Hunters, it was their second defeat of the season. In another match, FC Platinum edged the Bulawayo Chiefs 1-0 at Mandava Stadium.
The much-hyped Gwanda derby ended in a stalemate as the newly promoted Super Strikers played out a 0-0 draw against the Gwanda Pirates at the Felandaba Stadium this Monday.
Two clubs, one small mining town divided by football. The two sides whose split was caused by leadership wrangle met for the first time in a Zifa Central Region Division 1 encounter. However, the match did not live up to expectations as the two teams settled for a goalless draw. The result was celebrated by Super Strikers fans who had a point to prove against the star-studded Johannes Nkodzo-led Gwanda Pirates.
Ukujabula lokuthokoza okukhulu ngendlela abafana bethu abadlale ngayo. Abafana be Super Strikers balile ukulaliswa phansi bendlalo phansi badlule phezulu kwabo. Balwile bafayitha. Unfortunately asatholanga i-opportunity ukuthi sihlohle labo nje bengasatholanga.
I-take sesifakile is difficult. You need to maintain it. We maintain over difficult ngoba you need to win ama games. Ngoba every team le ebuya lapha eGwanda yakwazi Gwanda Pirates idlala njani. So in that you need to be prepared. If you are not prepared, amavita njengala yabuya ukuthi I think our Warriors babe bezo defend. I think they defended very well. I think bengalandaba maybe ukuwina. I think they right score lines abasitholile. But esathinde thina we are not happy with score lines sitholile. So ama draws uma ngithusi right but need to soldier on.
For the fans who turned up in their numbers, the match signaled the return of football excitement.
Idlale very well. Especially first half we dominator. We had the unlucky to strike party. First half we dominated as half crowd. Step is a no man's game, but our game was perfect. It was superb. Besiphezu kwakho konke. Okusalayo 2 draws asikadliwa thina. And the last season we are repeating that thing.
Gwanda boss of 5 teams in the Zifa Central Region Division 1 League: Gwanda Pirates, ZRP Gwanda, West Nicholson, Super Strikers and Blanket Mine. Providence Maranelli, ZPC News, Gwanda.
Just a quick update. Zimbabwe men's 4x4 meters team has qualified for the World Relays set for Botswana next month. World Athletics confirmed Zimbabwe's place at the global showpiece after publishing the final qualification rankings at the close of the window, with Zimbabwe in 24th position, enough to secure a slot in Botswana. The quartet of Geren Movishi, Leaford Zuze, Tandazan Ndlovu and Denise Hove will represent the country. Zimbabwe is among 24 nations to compete at the relays, joining global powerhouses including Jamaica, the United States, South Africa and host Botswana. Zimbabwe's under-15 teams got their CAF Schools Football Championship campaign off to draws in Harare this Monday.
The Young Warriors drew 1-0 with Uganda, with Moses Amarimudze opening the scoring, but Uganda clawed back to find an equalizer. In the girls category, Zimbabwe also settled for a draw after being held by Morocco. Winnie Mapua and Alakevia Jaravani scored for the hosts, but the North Africans ensured the match finished 2-0. Earlier, Senegal edged Benin 1-0 in a West African derby, while Tanzania and Zambia drew 1-0. Action continues this Tuesday as Zimbabwe's boys face a tough test against DRC and Morocco, while the girls take on DRC and Zambia. Defending champions Ghana face Burkina Faso in the girls category. The top 2 teams from each group will advance to the semi-finals.
To conclude sport, the annual Milton Rugby Festival is proving to be a key development pathway for the sport, with several national team players emerging through its ranks.
Bulawayo's Hartsfields, the home of rugby, was the venue for the 2-day Milton Rugby Festival, which attracted schools from across the country. Since 2021, Milton has been staging the festival as a platform to identify, nurture and develop talent, and has seen stars like Michael Walenga and Maibongo Ncube going on to represent the senior national team. Organizer of the festival, Mtabisi Ngulube, says the event is a life-changing opportunity for upcoming stars, offering them much-needed exposure.
Well, we started since 2021. This program.
It was after COVID-19, so Samuguti at least try and bring teams together. There's a tournament there's a season that comes here, rugby, schoolboy rugby season, which starts in the second term of the schooling term. So this tournament has come in as a pre-season preparation. To bring schools together, to strengths and weaknesses.
Several national team players have graduated through the festival.
It has actually us aided because already we have there's Umaibongwe Ncube. He was a former Milton boy. He just finished last year. He's now in the Zim Sables. He came also from selections from these such tournaments. We've been identifying, especially as Milton, identifying boys from the less privileged schools to bring them in so that we have a privilege of playing private schools and also have Zim selections under Matland Select to teams as well selector. So most of the boys, we bring them into Milton because we have access to play teams up the ladder. So we have managed at least to send some boys into the Zim team. Even now as we speak, there are some boys that are already being selected as well. They are now already been in the preliminary selections.
Director of the Rugby Development for Bulawayo Province, Ruben Kumpasa, says the festival aligns with efforts to spread the sport.
This is a great opportunity for the youngsters to actually see and compete with bigger teams. I think talent early corner in the past 2 days has been amazing, especially from the girls' side. We are privileged to actually watch the girls grow into the sports, to actually come up and figure level yokuthi national team.
Bulawayo Province continues to roll out initiatives to spread the game into the western suburbs, widening the rugby talent pool. Mchogozi Stuwe, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
That's it from the Sports Corner, where the report in focus is up next.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast to Pafanjubal, with mostly clear skies over the start of the day today. But however, by afternoon, we're scattered clouds drifting in over the northern parts of the country. But however, towards evening, with a cooling southeasterly bringing in a bit of moisture over the southern parts, where we're expecting it to be cloudy by tomorrow over those southern areas. So we urge the public to keep warm if you happen to be in Masvingo, Matabeleland South, or Manicaland. As we look at our satellite image, we're expecting cooling conditions to come in over the southern parts with a bit of drizzle. That's the green color that you see there, giving us a few showery weather over Matabeleland South, Masvingo, as well as Manicaland into Tuesday, Wednesday, as well as on Thursday. But as we get into Friday, these clouds should clear off, giving us clearer skies across board with a few isolated showers over the north. But for tonight, we're expecting that moisture to be still over the western parts. We're expecting it to be mild across the country. Tomorrow, we're expecting cooler conditions over the south, where some of the conditions should be below 25 degrees. So it's a bit cooler tomorrow over the southern parts of the country because of those southeasterlies. That's for Bulawayo, expect 5 degrees Celsius by tomorrow, falling again over Matopo. We're expecting it to only get warmer as we get into the weekend, where we're expecting temperatures to rise again with more of the clearer skies into the weekend. So our temperatures over Gwanda should be at 26 tomorrow, falling to about 22 as those cloudy conditions cover those southern areas. But it gets warmer into the weekend with 28 on Friday. For Gweru, we're expecting 24 for tomorrow, but it cools down again to 23 on Thursday, only warming up on Friday into Saturday. For Masvingo, we're expecting it to be cooler for the first few days. It also warms up around Friday to about 27 degrees. From Mutare, we're expecting 25 for tomorrow, 23 into Wednesday and Thursday, and warming up about 28 by the weekend and 29 on Sunday for Mutare. For Nyanga, we're expecting a slight dip at about 17 on Wednesday, but it warms up again to about 23 into the weekend. For Maronde, we're expecting 22 for Wednesday, 24 for tomorrow, but it warms up again. For Harare, it's just 25 for tomorrow, and it cools down to 24 but warms up again. For Kadoma, also the same with mostly 27s for much of this week. 26s for Chinhoyi, but warms up to about 28 into the weekend. Victoria Falls at 30 tomorrow, cools down to about 27 for Wednesday and 26 for Thursday. Lupani also cooling down to about 29, but it warms up again into the weekend with 32s projected over the weekend. For Binduru, we're expecting 25 for tomorrow, 23 on Wednesday, but it warms up again into the weekend. Same for Kariba, 28 for much of this week, warming to about 30 into the weekend. With that, we wish you a pleasant week ahead. I know it's been a long weekend, but it's back to the working week, and wish you a pleasant week.
Right, the way of the weather courtesy of the Met Department, and that's a wrap from the main news team for tonight.
Good night.